Okay, so why do we sell Girl Scout cookies? There are basically 3 reasons. First of all, the girls are going to learn real life skills to help them prepare for life in their future, but also things that they can use right now. The second reason is that our troop earns money, right? We get 95 cents a box to help us pay for all of the activities that we do, our troop supplies, volunteer training, and all that good stuff. And then our council, Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles, also earns funds to help pay for girl programming, property maintenance, volunteer training, and all that good stuff. You know, if they don't exist, then we don't exist. So obviously it's important that we help support our council. And then also, you know, by your Girl Scout participating in the cookie program, she can help offset her cost of participating in Girl Scouts. Of course, the cookie sales are optional, but you know, if you sell cookies, then you don't have to pay for things out of pocket so much, or even at all, depending on how it works out. Okay, the 5 skills for girls. Before each cookie program, the girls will set individual goals, which is something that they were doing yesterday at our meeting. And we'll also come up with a troop goal of what we want to sell. So that's part of our goal setting. They'll also learn to make decisions about what they want to do with the money, who are the best people to ask to buy, what is the best way to market our product, all kinds of making decisions involved in the cookie program. The girls have to calculate how much customers owe based on how many boxes they buy, and then how much change they should get based on what kind of bill they pay with. So that's all about the money management. The girls will learn to look people in the eyes, speak up, and answer questions when selling their product, either by themselves or directly to their customers, or if they're selling at a booth sale in front of the store. So that's part of our people skills. And girls, of course, are expected to be polite, even if their customers say no, to be honest about our product. And of course, we offer a dependable product because we're Girl Scouts, so that's part of business ethics. So this was just a small example of the ways girls are learning important life skills by participating in the Girl Scout cookie program. Okay, so this example here is talking about 2019. And the reason why we have that year is because it's really the last, like, I guess you could say, normal year that we had as a troop, where we actually did the normal types of activities that we would do that cost the amounts of money that they would normally cost. Because in 2020, we pretty much did nothing. And then in 2021, we've done very little so far. So this is the best example that we can give of what the potential is of the troop paying for your daughter to do stuff. So a 3rd grade brownie in our troop in 2019 would have had the opportunity to do all of these activities, which would have added up to a total cost of $337. Additionally, because she's in 3rd grade and would have been bridging to juniors, the troop could have potentially paid for her new troop uniform, for her new junior uniform, which would have been an additional up to $100, depending on what specific uniform component she picked. So you can see how participating in the cookie program can really help so that you don't have to have so much money coming out of your pockets. But the girls still get to do cool stuff. So our mascot for this year is the Kiki the koala, and the theme is Climb with Courage. Communication. So a lot of communication through text message during the cookie program. My texts tend to be like novel length sometimes, but please read them because there's usually important information in there. If it's anything that's super, super long or involved, then I'll usually send it in an email. I also generally will send a text saying, hey, I sent an email, please read it. And then, of course, there's information on our troop website, including our calendar, which has all the important dates. I just updated the cookie page on our troop website, so there's lots of cool info on there. Some of our sales statistics from previous years, some cool videos that I found on YouTube and things like that, as well as some useful information. Of course, if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me outside of troop meetings. Do not try to ask me questions during troop meetings because it's very chaotic and there's way too much going on, but contact me outside of troop meetings and I can answer your questions generally as soon as I get home from work because I'm actually not allowed to carry my phone at work. Okay, so here's kind of an overview of the important dates. These are all on our important date Google Calendar. If anyone's still having issues accessing the calendar or the website, let me know. We've been working out all of those issues the last few days. I think we've gotten like 10 more people access to the site that weren't able to get it before. So if you're still having issues, let me know and we can work that out. Most important dates here, Tuesday, January 18th is when we can launch our digital cookie sites and start taking orders in person. So that is kind of when the sale starts, sort of when it starts. And then pickup day is Saturday, January 29th. For right now, it could potentially be pushed back because of COVID. It was last year. They haven't said anything about it happening this year, but the numbers right now are the same as they were last year. So it is possible that the cookie pickup date could end up getting pushed back. But as of right now, it is scheduled for Saturday, January 29th. And then our go day when we can start delivering and selling cookies is the 30th. So you could potentially have cookies on the 29th, but you cannot start making any deliveries or additional sales until the 30th. That's really important to remember. Booths begin, that's the wrong date, not Friday, February 6th. It's actually Friday, February 11th. February 6th isn't even a Friday. Not sure how that date got. This is the 4th time I've had to update this PowerPoint, but apparently it's happening again because that is not the correct date. It is Friday, February 11th, and then initial money due is Sunday, February 13th. Final money is due Monday, March 14th. We're expecting cookie rewards to arrive sometime in July, August, or like this year, possibly September. And then hopefully we'll be able to go on those events, whatever the girls pick to do with the money, sometime in April, May, June, or July, depending on what they pick to do. So 5 steps for the best cookie season ever. So we will work together to set a group goal of how many cookie packages we'd like to sell, as well as what we're going to do with the money. And then each girl should also set her own personal goal. Her goal can either be based on a specific reward she wants to earn. Maybe she just wants to sell more cookies than she sold last year. Maybe it's really whatever. It's the girl's goal. So it's really whatever she wants her goal to be, however she wants to set it. It's totally up to her. And then step 3, as a supportive adult, it's your job to learn what you can about the cookie program and support your Girl Scout in whatever way safely possible. Help your Girl Scout set up her digital cookie site and encourage her to call or text family and friends. Set up a virtual meeting with your coworkers maybe to ask them to buy cookies. Be available to take your Girl Scout to booth sales if we do end up doing booths.
Ooh, that's a really good idea.
Support her in any way that you can. Be open also to encouraging newer girls in their sales and answering questions that parents may have. If you know the answer, share the knowledge. We want to work together. So there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So that's our goal. We want to work together to go as far as we can. It's not really about what one person can achieve alone, but what we can all achieve working together as a group. And then for step 4, sell beyond family and friends. So family and friends, obviously a good place to start, especially for those who have really large families. But, if the girls go beyond that, there's so much potential for them to go further with their sales. So they can ask your coworkers, sports teams, neighbors, teachers, really whoever they know. Have your Girl Scout keep an accurate count of the packages that she has sold and then celebrate her small and big successes along the way to encourage her to keep going. Cookie Entrepreneur Family Pins, these the girls can earn. This is something that they do not do with our troop. They do it at home, working with their family. It's about setting their goal and practicing skills and then just working to achieve their goal. So again, this is something they do with their family if they want to do it. The requirements can be found on the digital cookie site. Once it goes live, there's a badge section. They can find them there, or they're also on our troop website. Actually, I should add those to our cookie page. I didn't even think of that. I will do that. Rules and consequences. Okay, this is a big one. We need to follow the rules. I have been a volunteer for 21 years. They know me. They know that I know the rules. I don't have the excuse of, sorry, I didn't know, because I know, and they know that I know, and it's my job to make sure that you know. So we need to follow the rules, because otherwise the girls can be penalized. They could either lose their proceeds, they could lose rewards, we can have our boothing privileges taken away. So just make sure that we are following the rules. If you're not sure about something, feel free to ask, and we'll let you know what the proper procedure is. But Girl Scouts, we have our Girl Scout law. We're honest and fair, responsible for what we say and do. We respect authority, and we're a sister to every Girl Scout. So all of that ties in to following the rules. Also, our founder, Juliet Lowe, said, right is right, even when nobody else is doing it. So that's really what we're trying to teach these girls, is to be moral and respectful of each other. So we're not, again, it's not about one girl trying to do the best and get the highest number, so she's got to cut every corner she can to get there. We need to make sure we are following the rules and doing things the way that they are intended to be done, so that it is fair for everybody, and also we're keeping everybody safe. So some of the biggest issues are either taking orders early or delivering early and selling where you're not allowed to. Those are honestly the biggest issues. So no taking orders of any kind before January 18th, and no delivering, even if somebody ordered, no delivering until January 30th. So those are the big dates to follow for that. And then things for selling, you can't just like park your car in a parking lot, pop open the trunk and sell cookies out of your trunk. Something that is 100% not allowed. We can do booth sales in commercial areas, but it has to be set up through the store. It has to go through our council. It has to be an approved boothing location. You can't walk through a mall with a wagon. You can't walk through a college campus with a wagon. You can't set up a booth outside of an elementary school or a church, again, without going through the proper channels and getting that approved. So anytime you're selling somewhere in a commercial area, which includes schools and churches, it has to be approved. There's paperwork that needs to be completed, and a request needs to be submitted for us to be able to do that. And if you're going to do a walkabout, which is like walking around with a wagon, it can only be in a residential area. That is not permitted in commercial areas at all. Okay. So again, things are uncertain. We don't necessarily know what things are going to look like. Things might change at a drop of a hat. So please make sure you're reading all communications. That's basically the gist of this slide. Some things that have changed. We're going to go over most of this throughout the meeting tonight, but the one thing that I want to mention is the fact that we're not doing a cookie kickoff like we normally do in person. We kind of did a little cookie kickoff of our own at our meeting yesterday. So that was, the girls' preparation for the cookie program. We'll obviously work on stuff at our next meeting as well. We're going to see if we can squeeze in a virtual meeting too sometime this weekend. I know it's a holiday weekend, but we're going to see to have the girls talk a little bit more about goal setting and setting up their digital cookie sites before that happens on the 18th. The other thing that I want to mention is the digital cookie site. Please use it. It doesn't necessarily mean much to most of you that have younger girls, but for those of you who have girls in Troop 113, we don't just depend on cookie sales to pay for stuff. We do extra money earning activities. We'll have a garage sale usually every year. We'll host events for other troops and charge funds, things like that. And right now we're not allowed to do that stuff because our troop did not participate enough in fall product program. So the rules say that 50% of the troop has to participate in fall product and 50% of the troop has to participate in cookies, both, in order for us to do any of those extra money earning things. So technically half of our troop did sell fall product. However, since they did not use the digital site, they didn't use the M2OS platform, that no longer counts. So in order for them to count as participating, for us to be allowed to do extra money earning, they have to participate in the online portion. So they have to sign up on the online platform and send out those required emails. Otherwise, they don't count as participating as far as allowing us to do extra money earning activities. And again, for the younger girls, it's not as much of an issue because we don't do any extra money earning really, but our older girls do a lot of extra money earning. And this year we can't, we're not allowed to do any. So whatever trip they end up taking this summer, which we've narrowed it down to 3 locations, they only have the money from cookies to pay for it. Okay. We're going to skip these slides. You can go back and look at them later if you want to. Our cookies. So we have basically the same varieties as we did last year. The prices are the same. It hasn't changed. The one addition that we do have is Adventurefuls, which is a brownie inspired cookie with caramel flavored cream and a hint of sea salt. So the girls did get to try the cookie at the meeting yesterday. And it was very hit or miss. Some girls really liked it. Some girls didn't. I think one girl actually said that it reminded her of a protein bar. that's not really the vibe that I got from it when I tried it, but I thought it was pretty good. But that is our new cookie this year. Unfortunately, due to COVID, there is shortages in the new cookie. They're baked at a separate facility than the others, and they have staffing shortages due to COVID cases. Also, there are supply chain issues. So we are being extremely limited in the amount of adventurefuls that we're allowed to have. I submitted our troops order last week, and they made me unsubmit it and do it again and lower the number of adventurefuls that we ordered, because we are being extremely limited on what we could have. We basically are ordering about 1 case per girl, and they're saying that we might not even get that. They might not even be able to accommodate that. They won't know until all the orders are processed. And so when the digital cookie site goes live, I'm pretty sure that adventurefuls won't even be an option on there for people to order. So it would only be what we have in hand that you'll be able to sell directly to people, is what we're being told right now. Don't know if that's going to change, but as of right now, that's what we're being told. Keep in mind, there are 2 cookie bakers. For those of you who are not aware, we have Little Brownie bakers. Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino have ABC, which is the other baker. So you will see those cookies. People will ask about those cookies because they're very close to us. Some of the cookies are the same, essentially. Thin Mints, Do-si-dos, Samoas, trefoils, tagalongs. I think I'm forgetting one. But they have different names. So their Do-si-dos are called peanut butter sandwiches. Their tagalongs are called peanut butter patties. Their Samoas are caramel delights, because the names for the most part are owned by the baker. The exception is they're all called Thin Mints, no matter who makes them, because that name is owned by Girl Scouts. Both bakeries are doing adventurefuls this year. And again, the name is owned by Girl Scouts. So it's called the same for both. Okay, so then the $6 cookies are the s'mores and the Toffee-tastic. Toffee-tastic are gluten-free. I guess they're good. I'm not a fan, but as far as gluten-free goes, they're actually one of the highest selling gluten-free cookies in the country. Not like Girl Scout cookies, like highest selling gluten-free in general cookies. So that's pretty cool. So if you do have people asking for cookies like, hey, what about lemonades? That's the other baker. So just say that's the other baker is the easiest way to answer those questions. We have Lemon Ups. They have lemonades. We have s'mores. They have Toast Yays. Their gluten-free is a like chocolate chip something or other cookie kind of thing. So some slight differences. Our baker is trying to make the cookies, I don't really want to use the term healthier because they are cookies, so like they're never going to be healthy, but less bad, I guess you could say. So there's no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial colors, no hydrogenated oils, no trans fats, all that kind of stuff. If anybody cares about that. Well, I should say anybody besides me. Okay, so cookies for the community. You've got to think of this as our 10th variety of cookie, right? So it was Gift of Caring. It's now called Cookies for the Community. So it's virtual. We collect the money. We do not have to ever handle the cookies. So it's the council does the delivery. The girls don't have to, that's not something that they need to go back and deliver to the organization. It's great for people who are on a diet, for people who are diabetic, for people who are allergic to ingredients, whatever the case is. Would you like to donate to Cookies for the Community? The thing is, people are willing to do this as long as they know it's a thing. If they don't know it's a thing, then they don't know that they can do it. So really, it's about the girls making sure that they ask. So again, think of it as our 10th variety of cookies. So how many different types are there? There's 10, 9, the flavors, and then our 10th is Cookies for the Community. So that's the way that the girls got to think of it in order to, help make that sale. There are receipts available to download that you can give people because that is tax deductible since it's a donation. They're not getting any cookies. Girl Scout cookies in general are not tax deductible. A lot of people think they are, but they're not because you're receiving a product for the money that you're paying. But Cookies for the Community is tax deductible. This is our numbers for the last few years. So they were kind of whatever. And then 2018, we kind of took a dive and they got pretty low. So we were barely over 200 boxes total. And that was when we were like, hey, we're going to really start to focus and push more this, what was then called Gift of Caring. So you can see in 2019, we sold I'm gonna do the math, almost 600 boxes. So it really jumped up. It, more than doubled our sales. In fact, almost tripled, because it was really about us making that extra effort to make sure the girls were asking. That's really what the difference was. And then 2020, we got a little bit better. The funny thing is, from 2020 to 2021, you'll notice that the total boxes did not go down, right? But instead of it being part that the girls directly sold and part that came from booths, it's all the girls directly sold, because there were no booths. So the girls made up the difference themselves. And I believe that part of the reason is because a lot of the sales came through the digital site. And when customers clicked on the digital site, the cookies for the community option was there. So they saw it, so they knew it was a thing. And again, as long as people know it's a thing, they're willing to give to it. It's when they don't give, it's because they don't know it exists. So it's the girls' job to make sure that the customers know it exists and it's something that they can contribute to. So even in 2020, those 320 boxes that were sold by girls, over 100 of those boxes were one girl. So a lot of the girls still are not participating in this program. So again, as long as the customers know it exists, they'll do it. So it's the girls' job to make sure that they know that it exists. Even last year, those 617 boxes, over 100 of them were from one girl. Okay, so cookie pickup location this year is new. It's in Santa Fe Springs. Does not matter to most of you because you will actually be picking up your cookies from my house. It only matters if you would like to help at Warehouse Day. They do need volunteers to help distribute the cookies to the other Girl Scout troops. I actually really like doing it. I think it's tons of fun. So I'll be doing that again this year, and we'll be getting our cookies a little bit later in the morning. But they will need tons of volunteers. Any adults welcome. You don't have to be a registered Girl Scout. They prefer not to have children there because it is a warehouse and there's forklifts and things that kids could get hurt on. The day usually starts around 7 a.m. and lasts for a few hours. Yesterday we ended, I want to say, just before noon. Depending on, so I will be there working, and our troop will be renting a U-Haul again to pick up the cookies. However, since you can see from the numbers on the screen, we're picking up quite a bit more than we did last year. So I don't think it's all going to fit in the one U-Haul. So we'll probably need some extra vehicles as well, kind of going back to what we used to do. The timing is going to be a little bit iffy since we're picking up last and it's basically whenever they're done. I'm not sure what the exact time will be. So we're going to have to, I'm going to have to talk to them and figure out what that's going to look like. But yeah, so if anyone has a larger vehicle and would like to come, help pick up cookies, or if you don't necessarily have a larger vehicle, but you're willing to help load or unload, you can come on over and help with that as well. So what we're going to do is when we get back to my house, we're going to unload all the extra vehicles, but the cookies that are in the U-Haul are going to stay in the U-Haul. And then when parents come and pick up their cookies, they're going to be pulling those orders out of the U-Haul themselves. And then on Sunday, after the girls do our walkabout that we're going to do together, then the girls are going to help unload the rest of the U-Haul into the house. So that's kind of the plan right now. When we're unloading the U-Haul, anyone's welcome. I don't care, kids, adults, grandparents, as long as you can carry a case of cookies, you can come help unload. We just kind of do a chain, so they don't even have to carry it very far. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. If not, let me know. It's cookie pickup's kind of crazy because we pick up a lot. We're the biggest order in this area, so it's a lot of cookies. Okay, so again, even though the girls may not begin delivering or selling until January 30th, you can pick up your cookies on the 29th. Sign up is actually already up and active, and some people have already signed up for a spot. I'm not going to tell you where to go to sign up. It's somewhere on our website, and you can find it. And if you don't find it, then probably a couple days before, I will let everyone know where it is. I'm trying to get people to use the website and figure out where things are. If you are planning on helping at Warehouse Day, like helping either at the warehouse itself or just helping us pick up our own cookies, you don't need to sign up for a spot because you can just take your cookies when you're here. So it's only if you're not planning on helping, then you will need to sign up for a pickup spot. If you are not sure what you want to pick up, like you literally have no idea, you're like, I don't know what to pick up. This is the basic order that I would recommend you pick up. You don't have to pick this up. You can pretty much pick up whatever varieties you want. But if you just really have no idea, this is going to be my recommendation to you. because we are taking orders on Digital Cookie and even on the order form before the pickup, you will have orders to fill, and you will be filling them out of whatever you pick up that first day. So if you want to just pick up what you've sold, that's fine. If you want to pick up some extra, that's cool too. The point is, you need to know exactly what you're picking up, how much total. So we're not going to pick up, okay, this is what I've sold, pull that aside. Now I want this extra. It's not going to be like that. Just one total. I need this many of this many of this many of this. And then once you take it, you do with it what you will. Make deliveries, sell it to family and friends. I just need one total of what you're picking up, one transaction, keep it simple, right? So if you do have any Digital Cookie orders to fill, which if you have signed up on the online site, you very likely will have Digital Cookie orders to fill, then you'll pull those out of whatever you pick up on the first day. Again, you need to sign up for a time unless you're planning on helping at the warehouse or at our pickup, because if then you'll already be here, so you don't need to sign up for a time. You'll just get to take your stuff before you go. You will be most likely pulling your own order out of the U-Haul, so be ready for that. I would recommend bringing bags to carry any loose boxes, because I can't have loose boxes laying around. So, you know, if you need 9 and you're leaving me with 3, I got to keep the case to keep those 3 in, which means you've got to have somewhere to put those loose 9 boxes. So keep that in mind. You might want to bring some bags to handle that. Okay. That's pretty much it for that. And again, the more prepared you are when you come to pick up, knowing exactly what you want to get, the smoother it will go. I will not be collecting any money, zero, zilch, none at all, on January 29th or 30th. So please do not plan on turning in any money, because I will not accept it. I lost an envelope of money last year because it's just way too crazy on those days. I did find it eventually, but it was very stressful trying to figure out where it went. So I will not be collecting any money. So please do not plan on turning in any money. And then girls who sell 100 packages, turn in the money, and pick up more cookies by Sunday, February 13th, will receive the initial order reward, which this year is a little colored pencil set that has koala, because that's our mascot. And then the pencils themselves say GSGLA 100th anniversary, because it is sort of our council's 100th anniversary. I mean, not really, because our council just formed in 2008. But our council's formed from 5 councils that merged, and one of those 5 is turning 100 years old this year. I'm not sure which one. I would have to look into it. But so by extension, our council is 100 years old. Our troop can also earn rewards for reaching certain per girl averages. So if we get 250, we get an extra $15 per girl. At 325, we get Girl Scout fleeces. And at 350, we get an extra $10 per girl. Usually one troop reaches these per girl average rewards and the other one doesn't reach it. And it's not necessarily that that troop sold better. It's we kind of move the numbers around to make it work so that we can get those extra rewards. And so for that reason, since the girls don't necessarily directly earn it, like we won't give them the jackets unless both troops reach it, which is very unlikely. The jackets will just go into our Girl Scout Buck store, and then whoever wants one can purchase one. In 2020, we actually did sell enough for every girl to get one of the jackets. Back then, they were windbreakers, but that is the only time that's ever happened. And I'm not sure. I don't know whether that will happen this year or not. Okay, lots of patches to earn. Participation patch, cookies for the community patch, a digital cookie patch, a digital expert patch, which is for doing digital cookie and uploading a video and a photo to the site. You get there's a rocker patch that is achieved at whatever the highest reward level a girl gets is, starting at 160 and up from there. And then there's the 2021 fall 2022 cookie combo patch that can only be achieved if the Girl Scout already achieved the fall product component. So if your Girl Scout did not participate in the fall product at all, or if your Girl Scout participated but did not meet the requirements, there's no way for her to earn that avatar patch. She had to have done both in order to get the avatar patch. I'm not sure where this is. Probably the avatar that she created in fall product, because the new cookie site doesn't have an avatar. So I'm assuming they're just going to use the one that's from the fall product program. But she had to have signed up for the M2OS online site, sent 15 emails and sold at least $175 in product in order to achieve that fall product component. And then she would also have to sell 260 packages of cookies to meet the cookie half of it. We honestly did not have very many girls get it this year. I want to say it's like less than 15 probably. I'd have to go back and check to know for sure. Okay, so two of the most popular rewards every year are the t-shirt, which is the 210 reward level, and the Koala plush, which is the 260. It's got a movable head and it's got a little pouch. I'm not sure if there's anything in the pouch. I didn't get to see the reward since we haven't done any in-person trainings for this.
I think the thing that goes into the pouch is another reward. The one that comes with the leaf. You give them and you put it in. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if you want to see what all the rewards are, there's actually, they're on the order form. So when you get your order forms, you can see them on there, or they're posted right now on our council website, which I can show you where to find it if you want. They can also get rewards for digital cookie and for cookies for community. Super cute backpack. If anyone earns it and doesn't want it, I will totally buy it from the girl, because there's no way I can get one of those for myself unless I invent an imaginary girl and put all my cookie sales online. For cookies for the community, at 30, they get a luggage tag. At 50, a bandana, and at 100, a zipper pouch. All of these rewards are cumulative. So whatever level they reach, they get that and then everything below it. Sorry, the pictures are fuzzy. I had to screenshot them from something and they did not blow up too well. Okay, program credit is an option for girls at certain reward levels. If they do choose program credit, sorry, it's been a long day. It's basically a gift card to our council. So it can be used in the shop. It can be used for camp. It can be used for any program that our council hosts. So if you see something cool through Girl Scouts of Orange County, that's great, but it's not valid there. It has to be something within our council. It could also be converted into money for the troop and could just be donated back to the troop. If your Girl Scout does reach one of those levels and chooses the program credit, you'll receive information for how to redeem it, all the rules and stuff like that when she gets her program credit. Okay, so they are attempting to go back to events at some program levels this year, or sorry, some reward levels. So previously at the 500, 1200, 1500, 2000, and 3000, there have been events. In 2020, all those events were canceled. In 2021, they only did it at the 2000 and the 3000. They didn't even try to offer it at the other levels because there was just way too much, uncertainty, and the events probably wouldn't have happened anyways. Well, this year they're going to try to offer the events. The only one that we have ever actually had girls go to is the Smart Cookie Club, which is for selling 500 packages. It used to be called 500 Club. Now it's Smart Cookie. It's at Six Flags Hurricane Harbor. It's a private Girl Scout party. They got unlimited food and ice cream for the girls. And then obviously they get to do all the water slides. They have craft stations set up. Really cool event. We've done it 3 times. That 2020 would have been the 4th year, but it got canceled. But they've done it 3 times there, and it's lots of fun. And that's where they're going to try to do it again this year. Now, keep in mind, if your Girl Scout chooses, she gets the 500 or to 1200 or whatever, and chooses the event option, if it does end up that event has to be canceled, she will not get a choice of replacement prize. She will automatically be defaulted to receiving the physical prize option at that level. So, for example, the 500 club level, because they get a choice. They can either choose the event, they can choose that program credit we just talked about, they can choose philanthropy, which is to donate money to the LA Zoo for koala care, or they can choose an actual physical prize. And at the 500 club level, it's a selfie kit. It's like a stand for the phone and then a ring light for taking selfies. So if they choose the event, which a lot of girls do because they love that event, and the event ends up getting canceled, they will automatically get the selfie package. They don't get to choose, oh, okay, I want program credit, or I want this, or I want this. If they choose the event and it doesn't happen, they will automatically get the physical item. So keep that in mind. If your Girl Scout would really not be happy with that item, she might want to choose one of the other options instead of the event, thinking that there is a chance that it could end up getting canceled. But that's up to you to make that choice, or her technically, if she wants to take the risk or not. Okay, we got a question came in. To answer your question, no, we're actually not allowed to do that. That's because because troop money can't be used like individually to pay for things for girls to do things that every girl's not being paid for to do. So no, we actually would not be able to pay for a girl to go to camp unless the girls voted to use their cookie money to pay for everybody to go to camp. Okay. Selling cookies. There's some contests. I don't know what the contests are this year because they have not announced them, but this is what they had last year. I'm assuming this year they will have some similar contests, if not the same. Safety. Safety is always number one in Girl Scouts. Everyone should follow all documented. And for the booth question, we'll be talking about booths in a few slides. Should be following all documented, COVID procedures. If we do end up getting put into another shutdown, that means no going out and selling cookies when we're supposed to be staying at home, not doing anything, right? So we got to follow all COVID guidelines, follow all safety rules regarding cookies that are found in our safety documents, including safety activity checkpoints and volunteer essentials. You will be sent a Greater Cookie Family Guide in the mail if you haven't received it yet, which you probably haven't, because I haven't gotten mine, and everyone usually pretty much gets them about the same time. But it's got some safety rules in there, so make sure you're following all of that. It still says Troop Shutterfly site, and I swear I changed it to website. Oh, Stephanie said she got hers last week. All the rules that are posted on our website. So make sure you're following rules, make sure you're following health and safety guidelines, keep money safe, keep the girls safe, supervise the girls at all times. Girls should never be selling alone. They always need to be supervised by an adult. Keep internet safety in mind because we do internet sales. Don't give out girls' private information, things like that. Don't hold on to large amounts of money. Keep it safe. Turn it in as frequently as possible. All right, all that good stuff. Safety is priority. Okay, cookie pickup. Besides that first day, how's cookie pickup going to look? People got yours last week. How come I haven't gotten mine yet? Of course, I don't have a girl, so I guess they don't technically always send me one. So hopefully cookies will be available throughout the program. However, there may be limited stock on hand depending on the booth sale situation. If we're able to get a lot of booths, then we'll probably have a lot of cookies on hand to cover our booths. But if we don't get a lot of booths, then I'm not going to have a lot of cookies on hand because I don't want to get stuck with them. And then again, the adventurefuls are probably going to be very limited. So we probably will not have any of those on hand, depending on how it ends up. All the cookies are going to be stored here at my house in Lakewood, if you don't know where I live. So that's where you're going to be mostly picking up cookies from. The schedule hasn't exactly been set yet, but it's probably going to be like a Wednesday and Sunday or a Wednesday and Saturday thing. I'm not exactly sure. I kind of have to look at which days work best, but it will be an actual schedule and you will have to actually sign up for an appointment to come pick up, just like on the first day. So that way I have an idea of when people are coming so that we can be better prepared. We will be doing cookie pickup outside again. So I will need to know in advance what you're picking up so that I can carry the cookies outside and have them ready for you, right? Because if you show up and you're saying, oh, I'm coming to get cookies, and you're like, okay, I need 5 of this and 6 of this and 10 of that and 15 of that, you have to stand outside and wait while I go back and forth in and out of my house, bringing you those cookies. So it doesn't make any difference to me. It's the same amount of time for me either way, but it saves you time if you let me know in advance what you're picking up, so that I can bring the cookies outside to you and they're just there ready for you when you come. And then all you have to do is count them and load them into the car. Oh, one thing I did not say for the first pickup though, when we're pulling cookies when you're pulling your cookies out of the U-Haul on that first day, don't pull them straight from the U-Haul to your car. They need to be stacked up like on the wall, or I'll probably have a table there so that we can double count them and then move them to your car. So everything always has to be double counted. So don't ever just pull them straight like from the U-Haul into your car, because I do need to double check those. We're always going to do receipts. So again, if I know what you're bringing in advance, the receipt will be already filled out and then all you have to do is sign it. If you change your mind about what you're picking up, or if I don't know, then I might have to rewrite a receipt, or you have to stand there while I write it. So it's, more time consuming for you if you do not accurately let me know what you will be picking up. Okay, and then also if we do not have cookies on hand and I need to pick them up, I have to make an appointment at least 24 hours in advance, if not 48 hours in advance. And the pickup days are only Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So the sooner you let me know that you need something, then the sooner I can make an appointment and make sure that we have what it is you're trying to pick up, if possible, assuming that it is available. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. If it is like really, really, really rainy, since we're doing cookie pickup outside, then we might not do it on a day if it's like crazy raining. But honestly, I work at Disneyland in the rain, so like the rain doesn't really bother me. I do my best to keep the cookies dry. Okay, order cards. They're going to be given out at the meeting on January 23rd. If you want it before that, since you can start, the girls can start using it starting the 18th, then you can contact me to pick it up this next weekend. Not tomorrow, not Wednesday, not Thursday, over the weekends. I will be around all weekend, so you can arrange to come pick that up. You can use it for taking orders, for tracking sales, for keeping track of inventory. It's really whatever the girl wants to use it for, or whatever you want to use it for. You don't have to use it a certain way. You don't have to use it at all. It's got cookie pricing, nutrition information. It has all the rewards, some, just useful information for the girls. So it's a nice resource to have, but if you're planning on using mostly the digital cookie site or mostly doing orders through texting and emailing, you don't necessarily need to use it unless you want to use it as a tracking thing. Totally up to you. Girls can hold on to it for future use to know which customers to contact next year too. It's a good resource for that. They only gave us one order card per girl, one per girl. We've had 6 girls join our troop since I gave them our numbers of participation, which means we're already 6 order cards short. So you may not get more than 1 order card. It is 1 per person. Once the cookie sale starts, they'll usually give us extras, but for right now, it's 1 per person. Sorry, I got people texting me. Funny. The order form does rip in half, and it is actually 2 pieces. So there is technically 2 forms there, but for right now, we only have 1 per person. Again, I can get more later, but for right now, we only have 1 per person. Okay, so selling Girl Scout cookies. For those of you who are asking, can we sell here? Can we sell here? Can we sell here? You notice I have ignored all of your questions. And that is because we're going to talk about that. So following all health and safety guidelines, depending on what they are. So this can change at any point, but starting January 18th, your Girl Scout can use digital cookie to take orders online. Your Girl Scout can take orders in person using her order card. She can text people, she can email people, she can call people to take orders starting January 18th. She cannot actually give people any cookies until the 30th. Starting January 30th, she can deliver any orders that she's already taken. She can continue to take orders, or she can just directly walk around and sell physical cookies to people. She can go door to door in her neighborhood. She can hang door hangers with her digital cookie code. She can do a residential lemonade stand on the property where she lives or a close family member, not in a common space of an apartment building or a condo complex, on your actual property of where the Girl Scout lives or where a person that she knows lives, which does include her troop leader, and we will get to that later. So not on the sidewalk next to the street, not on the corner 3 houses down from you, on your actual property or the property of somebody you know, your friend, her grandma, her aunt, her cousin, whatever, somebody she knows on that actual property, not on the sidewalk. Girls can sell at troop booth sales if they are permitted, which it does look like they're going to be. We have already booked some. They can sell at possibly individual booth sales, which we'll talk about a little bit later. They can sell at their parents' workplace, either in person if they're allowed to. I'm not allowed to bring girls to my work to sell, so I have the girls write a letter every year, or this year I'm actually think I'm going to have them make a video and I'm going to post it on our work Facebook page because I think that's going to go over well for my coworkers. And then, you know, I take the orders and I take care of the deliveries because the girls aren't allowed on Disney property backstage. So if you're in that situation too, where the girl can't actually go to your work, you know, have her write a letter, have her make a video so that your coworkers can see it, and then you can take care of actually delivering the cookies. But the girl needs to be involved in some way. It can't be just something that the parent is doing. There needs to be girl involvement at every step of the way. Okay. She can post her digital cookie link on Facebook. She can post it on Nextdoor. She can post it on Instagram, Twitter, any social media. She cannot post on resale sites, which we will get to in another second. So social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Nextdoor, all that good stuff. Yes. She can post where her troop is boothing. Our troop is boothing at Vaughn's on the corner of Woodruff and Harvey on Sunday, February 20th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that is one of the actual booths that we have. So she can post that, our troop 3433113. She can post a video and include her digital cookie link in that video. She can ask her customers to share the link with their friends and family. She may not post her digital cookie link on a resale site. So no eBay, no Craigslist, no Amazon, no Facebook Marketplace. She cannot post on a social media site that is not girl friendly. Because again, this is the girl doing this. So a Crime Watch page on Facebook, you really wouldn't want your Girl Scout being on that page looking through posts. So she shouldn't be posting her digital cookie link on those types of pages. For right now, that may change. They still have not given me a definitive answer, but as of right now, that's the rule we're going with. She may not post where an individual girl is boothing. So again, Troop 3433 is boothing at Vaughn's Sunday, February 20th, 11 to 5. Cool. Lilith Picasso is boothing at Vaughn's from 11 to 12, not allowed. So we don't identify individual girls' locations because it's considered a safety hazard. But where the troop in general will be is okay. She should not share any personal information. So no last name, no direct contact information, which includes phone number, email address, school, where she goes, where she will be selling, any of that stuff. Parent contact info is okay, but girl contact info, no matter how old the girl is not okay. And then she should definitely not direct message anybody that she does not personally know. So no DMing on Facebook, all that good stuff. Okay, for digital cookie, it's a new site this year, guys. I'm sorry, we just got used to the old site and they're changing it up on us. Thankfully, it does honestly look super cool. It looks like it's going to have a lot of great features. It looks like it's pretty easy to use. However, in order to sign up, you do need to get an email and you do need to click on the link in the email because it is connected directly to your Girl Scout. So sign up isn't necessarily harder. It's just you have to watch your email and it could go to your spam folder. And if you don't get the email because your contact information isn't right, then it is a lengthier process. And I can walk you through all of that, but let me tell you, if you don't get the email, it is a very lengthy process to sign up on the site. But you will get the email, hopefully sometime after the 13th. Then they can start emailing customers on the 18th. They can use their site throughout the sale, set up their storefront, email family and friends. They can upload a video, upload a photo. It will track their sales. They can even input on offline sales. Customers can order and either pay for shipping, which is really expensive, or they can choose girl delivery. And then the girl will pick up the cookies from me and deliver those cookies once they arrive. If the customer chooses girl delivery, the parent has to approve that girl delivery order within 5 days. They added that feature because last year, a lot of girls had customers that were ordering for girl delivery and the parents were not watching the site. So these people were just sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting for their cookies that they never got and they had already paid for. So to kind of eliminate that, the parent has to approve the sale. If you do not approve it within 5 days, it'll automatically default to the customer's second option. So if I order and I choose girl delivery, it's going to ask me what my second option is if that girl delivery is not approved. And it could either be to cancel the sale, to transfer it into being a donation, or it can be to pay for shipping. And why is the shipping so expensive? I have no idea. I don't know why it's so expensive. Cookies are heavy. They have to ship them refrigerated because of the chocolate, I believe. But I honestly have no idea why the shipping is so expensive. Honestly, though, I had people pay for shipping when they ordered from me, even if they didn't live far. And like, they just kind of did it. I think like they were used to paying for shipping for stuff because of the pandemic. I don't know, but I actually sold more for shipping than I thought I would. Okay, let's see. Again, so approve those orders within 5 days. Girl Scout will automatically receive credit for any shipped orders. Automatically it'll go. The way that she receives credit for girl delivery orders is by picking up the cookies. So the payment will be credited to her account, but the cookies won't actually be credited to her until she picks them up. So that's how that works. Let me know if you have, it's kind of a weird area. So just let me know definitely if you have any questions about that. There will be a troop link that doesn't go to specific girl. It just goes to our troop in general. I used it last year. It was great because it allowed my coworkers to order. It allowed my family members to order. And then I would just send out like a, hey, who wants to deliver this? It was usually whoever came and picked up cookies from me next. I'd be like, hey, I have this order. Do you want to go fill it? And they'd either be like, yes or no. So that was, and then that girl would end up getting the credit. So that's kind of cool because it'll allow my coworkers to be able to order cookies online and use their credit card. And then I could take care of the delivery for them and, you know, credit it to the girls. I'll probably just average it into the boost sales. Honestly, that's probably the easiest way to do it. If you don't want to deal with delivering cookies, you can do shipping only, but again, it will probably limit sales because not everyone's going to want to pay for shipping. It's not really shipping per box. It's a minimum of 4, and I believe it's $12.99 for 4 to like 6 boxes or 4 to 8, and then it's like $16.99 for 8 to 12. And then if they get beyond that, they have to start over, is I think what it is. I would have to look it up to be sure, but it is not cheap. It is definitely not cheap. Okay. Again, so you're going to get an email. If you do not receive that email by the 17th, you're probably going to need to reach out to customer care. They might have your contact information incorrect. Or if your Girl Scout registered in our troop after the 17th, which I actually don't think applies to any of you. Everyone here should have been registered in the troop by December 17th. Then it might come, the email might come later. But if you need to go straight to the site, there is a button you can click on that says need help logging in. And what they'll do is they'll have you check your info to make sure it's accurate. If it's not accurate, you're going to have to change it, and then council has to approve it. And that's why it takes some time, because, you know, they're only going to be able to do that approval during business hours. I will be available at the meeting on the 23rd with my laptop to help people set up their sites if they're having trouble. You can also try calling me. I'm not as available as I was last year because I am back to work, but I honestly don't work very many hours because I am part-time. Like, I'm off usually Monday through Thursday by 3, and then Fridays I generally am off anywhere from 4 to 7. But you know, I'm not sure if that's going to be the case throughout the cookie program. If busyness picks back up, I might end up with more hours. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions here. Facebook, Instagram info about cookie advertising. Girls can post their link on Facebook and Instagram, but not on Facebook Marketplace. And it should be, you know, something not on like a Facebook page that's inappropriate for kids, like a Crime Watch page or something like that. Okay, let me know if you need more clarification on the Facebook, Instagram thing. Okay, sister selling. This does apply to some of you on here tonight. We have established a new kind of thing with sister selling because the new site actually tracks the sales live. Sort of live. So like when people pick up, if I input that order, it will reflect on the site. The way we have done sister sales in the past, that wouldn't work. So I'm giving you a couple options. If you have more than one Girl Scout in the troop, you will have to let me know which way you want to track sales by the 23rd so that I can set up all my files accordingly. And then you can't change your mind after the fact because it'll be set up, it'll be too much hassle to go back and redo it because There's lots of like linking to things within Excel, and it's a crazy nightmare to set it up. And I really wouldn't be able to go back and change it once it was done without starting from scratch. So first of all, let's talk about booth sales. So at booth sales, 2 adults are always required, always, right? Unless both girls present are in high school, and we'll get to that more later. But 2 adults required. So if you've got your 2 Girl Scouts selling and they want to sell together, you want to sign them up at the same time, you need to come up with your own second adult. So it can't be you and your 2 girls. There has to be 2 adults. If you can't come up with your own second adult, you can either sign up your girls to sell separately. So you sell, this shift with girl A, and then she goes home and then sell this shift with girl B, and then blah, 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 whatever, assuming you have someone to leave your other girl with. The third option is you can sign your Girl Scouts up as one person. So let's see, who do we have on here that's got sisters? Stephanie and Belinda. I'm going to use you as an example. So Stephanie and Belinda want to sell at the same time, and their mom, Claudia, is going to be their adult, and she's going to be the only adult that can go with them. So she can sign them up as one person. So basically what that means is they would go and they would sell, and it would be the 2 of them and Claudia, and then another girl and her parent. So Stephanie and Belinda would only get credit for one girl, and they would split that credit between the 2 of them. So it does give the girl less credit than she would get if she were selling on her own, but it's really the only way that we can do it, because it's not fair to give her full credit, because then it's taking down the credit that the other girls are getting, because it's going to make more hours worked and it's going to bring down our whole average. I can't really offer my services for being a second adult all the time like I used to, because our troop does way too many booth sales, and I really just can't commit to sitting at booth sales every weekend from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. There's other things that I have to do. But so if you have any questions about that, let me know. The other option is, because we will be doing a troop lemonade stand in my front yard, and that does only require 1 adult. You can also sign up for that, which counts the same as, I forgot what I was saying. Sorry. We'll get to it when we talk about the troop lemonade stand. It's been a long day. Sorry, guys. Okay, so that's booth sales. Secondly, so you can track individual sales in a couple of ways. So first of all, you can either just pretend like the 2 girls, it's a family thing. It's one transaction. So all pickups would be a family transaction. This is the way we have always done it in the past. Instead of writing, like for example, this year, Ariana and Gianna. So Ariana's new to the troop, but Gianna's been in the troop for a few years. So whenever Francis would pick up cookies, I would write the name on the receipt as Gianna, right? Well, if she was doing it as a family transaction, instead of what I've always done in the past, I write the last name instead. So Gutierrez, it would say the last name instead of the girl's first name. So they're basically counting as one person. And then at the end of the sale, I would say, hey, how do you want to divide these cookie sales? And I would do whatever you want me to. So it could either be split down the middle, which is what a lot of people do, or maybe, Gianna really, really, really wants that stuffed animal. So you give her the credit for the $260, and then Ariana gets whatever's left over, or vice versa, whatever. I just divide the cookies however you want. If that is the option you choose, which honestly, quite frankly, is the way, way easier option for you. Doesn't really make a difference to me, but it's way easier for you because it's less tracking. And then I just give you a total number at the end and be like, how do you want this divided? Then the digital cookie site won't be accurate as to what is actually sold, because I won't be able to input the girls' sales into their record, since I really won't know what the girls' sales actually are until the end of the sale. So just keep that in mind. So the other option is you can count the girls as 2 separate people, which, obviously they are in real life. And you would do a transaction for each one. So you would have one receipt for each girl. You would have to keep track of all sales and all money and all of that stuff, as far as, what went to who. And then you would just tell me when you were picking up, okay, this is for Gianna, this is for Ariana. I'm just using you as an example again. So hopefully that's clear. So those are basically the 2 options. And it's whatever you prefer. Just, I'll be asking everyone to let me know so that I can set up all my files accordingly. So if it's really important that your Girl Scouts each get the same rewards, like they want the same thing, and you don't want them to be like, well, she got that and I didn't. Honestly, family transactions is the easiest. We just add everything up, and at the end, split it down the middle. Then you don't have to worry about making sure, well, this girl has one more and this girl, whatever. If you'd rather that the girls really just get credit for what they actually do and they see that reflected in their effort, then you might want to consider doing the individual tracking option. Okay, cookie booths. This is a big one for everybody. Hopefully we will have booths this year. Fingers crossed. Well, like I said, we've already booked some. They're not available to sign up yet because literally there's not even enough for every girl to have a half hour because we have so many kids and we've only gotten like 11 hours of booths. But hopefully we'll be able to do it this year and there will actually be enough for people. Keep in mind that if you do sign your Girl Scout up for a booth, you will need to be there or another adult will need to be there to supervise her. This is not something you're taking her to and dropping her off. Every Girl Scout needs to have her own adult supervising her at a booth. We do not need, both adults present do not need to be registered Girl Scouts, but one should be. Generally speaking, enough adults in our troop are registered that we don't have to worry, but usually at least one of them that's there is. But, you know, so it can be a parent who's not registered. We just kind of have to watch it to make sure that at least one adult who is there is registered. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Because again, there's always a minimum of 2 adults required at each booth sale unless both girls present are in high school. So I'm going to use Leah as an example since somebody from her family's on here. I didn't actually see who it was. So if Leah wants to sell with, let's say, Aussie, who's also in high school, and the 2 of them are selling and both parents are okay with it, then only one parent needs to stay with the girls. Again, as long as both parents are okay with it. So you can't just like sign your kid up and be like, oh, that other person's in high school, so they can be the adult and I'll just drop mine off. Like you have to make sure you talk to the person and they're okay with it. In that case, the adult that was there would need to be a Girl Scout adult. And again, all girls present would need to be in high school, not middle school, high school, right? And 2 girls and it could be 1 adult in that situation. We try to limit booths to just 2 girls because they play around too much. Obviously, the exception to that is if 2 sisters are signing up as 1 person. Keep in mind that boothing is a privilege that can be taken away from us if, you know, the girls do not act appropriately. So girls and adults should always respect each other and the business where we are selling. You know, it's a great thing that they're letting us sell there. It really helps us out a lot. So we need to treat their business with respect. We need to make sure we're being polite to customers so that customers don't get upset and stop shopping at that business because they let us sell there. You know, girls should always smile and say thank you, even if a customer does not purchase cookies. I know girls can be moody, but moodiness is not allowed at booth sales. Okay, if you're having a bad day, find someone to cover your shift. You know, I know it's not necessarily socially acceptable to tell girls to smile these days. You know, we say, well, no, why don't you smile? You know, that's a thing. We talk about it at work all the time. But, you know, they need to smile. They need to be polite. They need to be pleasant. If the girl's not feeling it, you know, girls have emotions, they're real people, then you might need to have someone cover her shift because they shouldn't be there mopey. They shouldn't be laying on the table or laying on the floor or, you know, they're representing Girl Scouts or representing the troop and they're being salespeople. So they need to put on a good face. We're selling an item here. We're putting on a show. Customers should always be approached on the way out of the store so that we're not taking business away from the store that is hosting us. Adults should take all trash with them when they leave, including any empty cookie cases. Usually I'll just take them with me when I pick up, but we don't want to put them in the store's trash cans, right? So if you're there and you end up with empty cases, just stack them up and I'll take them when I take the cookies. We're not supposed to use the store's trash. If we're selling in front of stores, again, we're the face of Girl Scouts. Girls should always be in their full uniforms. If any conflicts or problems arise, you can try to settle it away from the girls. You know, try to be that example and away from the customers. You can contact me for assistance if you need it for some reason. I usually try to be available during booth sales, so I usually am around, but it really depends. If you do come across girls selling where they're not supposed to be, example, Orange County Girl Scouts selling within our council boundaries, try to get the troop number and name of an adult if possible, and let me know, and then I can report it. You know, they say that there's consequences for breaking the rules. I don't know that there actually are, but that, you know, they say they follow up with these troops. Also, if you see girls walking around the wall with a wagon, I've talked to multiple parents who had girls selling in the parking lot outside of Costco, at the Lakewood Mall, not allowed. So try to get a troop number again, and so that we can get that taken care of. A lot of times people are doing these things because they don't know it's not allowed. So that's why it's our job to let them know, hey, you're not really supposed to be doing this. We got to keep it fair for all girls. Girls, of course, are not required to participate in booths. It's completely optional. So if they do sign up to sell, it should be something that they want to do. They should want to be there, and their attitude should definitely reflect that. Remember, all booth sales need to be set up through the troop. They need to be set up through the troop. No parent or girl may set up her own booth sale in front of any business without going through the troop, because we have to get that stuff approved. Everything's broken down into 1-hour shifts. Parents should use discretion when signing up their Girl Scout for shifts. Do not sign your Girl Scout up for more than she can handle, either physically or emotionally. Daisies and brownies may not sell after 6 p.m. on any night of the week. Daisies can only sell for 1 hour at a time. If they want to do more than one shift a day, they need to have a 2-hour break in between their shifts. Brownies may sell up for 2 hours at a time, again, with 2-hour break in between shifts. Juniors may sell up to 2 hours at a time with a 1-hour break in between shifts. Cadets, seniors, and ambassadors may sell as long and as frequently as they want. But keep in mind that there is no eating permitted at booth sales. So if they plan on trying to sell cookies all day, they should schedule themselves some meal breaks, right? We have had a girl sell at a booth. I think our record is like 5 hours straight or 6 hours straight. She sold. I'm like, dude, girl, you're crazy. But and they must stand and sell the entire time that they're there. So keep that in mind when signing your Girl Scout up. Okay, girls again need to be in Girl Scout uniform. There is no eating permitted. Water, of course, is okay. Adults should be dressed Girl Scout appropriate, so no sleeveless shirts if possible and no open-toed shoes. The girls get credit for booth sales. Basically, it's on an hourly average. So we add up all the hours that were worked and all the cookies that were sold and average it out, and then they get credit based on how many hours they sold. So if it ends up being 10 boxes per hour, which is usually what it ends up around, then if they sold 5 hours, they get credit for 50 boxes. If they sold 2 hours, they get credit for 20, et cetera, et cetera. I do think our average is going to be lower this year because we are doing that Troop Lemonade stand and we are counting it as part of our booths. And since it's not going to be this huge hot spot item, it probably will end up bringing down our booth hourly average, but it's just a way for us to give girls more hours since there's not going to be as many booths available this year. And we're just going to do our best to make adjustments. Adults should stay off of their phones unless they're using them to accept credit cards. We will have a way to accept credit cards. I don't know exactly what that's going to be yet. It might be Square or it might be something else. If we can find a location for a drive-through and it gets approved, we can't do a drive-through at my house because the lemonade stand has to be in the front yard. It can't be next to the street because we don't own the property next to the street. So the people would have to actually get out of their cars and walk up to the house. But if we have a location that we could do, a drive-through, I don't know that they would approve my house as a drive-through because it's not a commercial area. And generally booths are only in commercial areas. I'll have to talk to Jim and see what he says. I'll talk to Jim and see what he says. Oh, I also have to email Tammy about our trip. Okay, I gotta remember to do that. Let's see. Remember, you cannot accept payments through PayPal or Venmo. So the only way as a parent you can accept money for your Girl Scouts cookie sales is cash, check, or digital cookie. I'm going to say it again. Cash, check, or digital cookie. Cash, check, or digital cookie, right? You can pay the troop with Venmo. You collect the cash, you collect the checks, deposit them in your bank account, and then Venmo the troop. But you are not supposed to use Venmo to collect from customers because Girl Scouts is not approved to use Venmo for business transactions, and selling cookies would be a business transaction. However, handing the money over to the troop is not considered a business transaction. It's considered just giving a payment to somebody that you know. So this is what I've been told. It's looked at differently and it is permitted. No tag-alongs at booth sales. other than the cookies that we're selling. So no siblings, no cousins, no aunts, no uncles, no grandparents, no anyone that's not, no any kid that's not a registered Girl Scout, no extra adults hanging around. So if you make sure you have a sitter for your other children, if necessary, you could probably drop them off at my house. Cause like I said, I'm usually try to be available during booth sales. The only thing is if there's an emergency at the booth, I will be throwing your child in the car and taking them with me to go handle the emergency. I do have a booth receipt. It's probably appropriate for ages like maybe 5 and up, depending on the size of your child. If they're younger than that, you'd probably need to leave a seat with me. But it's an insurance issue. It's a safety issue. It's distracting. It takes away from our show for the customers. Show. You can tell I'm a Disney cast member. All sign-up shifts for booths when they happen will be online through signup.com. Additional booths may be added, hopefully, throughout the sale as locations are added. If you do need to cancel a shift that you signed up for, please let me know. Like, you can cancel it on signup.com, but also let me know in case I don't notice so that I can get that shift filled. Okay, so boothing in 2022, we don't know what it's going to look like, guys. I'm sorry. We might have to have a plexiglass barrier. The girls might be forced to wear shields in addition to their face masks. We really don't know. They're going to let us know when we get closer, but we're going to be as creative as we can. We're going to try to make it work. We're Girl Scouts. We're prepared, right? We're going to do what we can to make it work. Whatever type of booths your Girl Scout would like to try to do, again, they must be approved through our council or a service unit, depending on the type of booth. So you can't just set something up. It does need approval. And again, no selling cookies out of a wagon or out of the back of your car in a parking lot. That is 100% not permitted. Special booths. So these are those unique one-time opportunities. Someone who owns a shop, they want to let your Girl Scout sell. Cool, we set it up. This is a one-time thing. One day, it could be for an entire day if we want, but it's a one-time opportunity. That we still need to follow the rules. There needs to be 2 girls and 2 adults. This can include schools, this including churches, this could include small businesses. This is not something that's at a large retail store, no grocery stores, no Starbucks, no Walmart, and things like that. This is at the small little mom and pop shops. My dad used to own a fish store. If we did a booth there, that could be a special booth. If it's something that they want to allow the girls to do more than once, then that would not be a special booth. It would just be a regular booth. It would have to go through the council, and every girl would have to have the opportunity. So it would basically be open in the lottery of all booths for any troop to sign up. We're not allowed to have a location that lets our troop and only our troop sell there for the entire sale. That's considered an unfair advantage. So this is for things that are just a one-time thing. So if school's having open house, you talk to the principal, cool, you can set up a booth. Even though open houses don't happen during cookie season, just as an example, maybe PTA meeting, something that's going on. Maybe they've got their science night or something. It could be a drive-through thing, but again, these must be approved, and this is for stuff in commercial areas. Okay, so something that we will possibly be trying this year, only if we have enough boothing spots to allow this opportunity. So individual booths are allowed for girls that are cadet or older, starting February 28th and after. So it would just be 1 girl and 1 parent. That parent must be a registered Girl Scout adult. It's only going to be at the less busy locations and most likely only on weekdays, because we want to allow the busier stuff and the weekend stuff for the troop to be able to do. The girl would be responsible for bringing all supplies, her own table, her own tablecloth, her own change, and all of her own cookies. It wouldn't be part of our booth average. The girl she would have her cookies and she would sell what she had, and then she would just, have the money and she would get credit for everything that she sold. So it could go well if it's a good location. You could end up potentially working an hour and getting credit for 25 boxes instead of just the 10 that would be average. But keep in mind, it is going to be the slower locations. So you could also stand out there for an hour and sell 5 boxes, which we have done. So it could be hit or miss. But this is just a way that we can allow the girls that are older and maybe have those bigger goals to help pay for our trip that we're doing. And, without putting the extra work on me of having to deal with arranging the supplies for those booths. But again, we'll only be doing this if we have enough, booth spots for, for everybody, excuse me. Take a breather. All right. Again, boothing guidelines will be shared closer to when it starts on February 11th. They can change mid-season. We do have to comply with whatever the rules are. I'm really not looking forward to having to build a plexiglass barrier. I really hope that's not a requirement of booth sales this year. Girls, of course, and adults should wear masks, and they're saying gloves. I don't get the whole glove thing. It really does nothing, but you know, if it makes people feel better, put the gloves on. I'll have the troop buy gloves. Products should be stored under the table and be minimally handled. So instead of the girls doing their elaborate displays with all these cookies, you know, just one box of each so people can see what they are. And then, so we're not constantly touching the product. We should try to do contactless payment as much as possible. There is a way to take a credit card from a customer using digital cookie in person. You just have to manually input all the customer's info, including the credit card number. So we might end up doing that at booths. But if it ends up being like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, like taking too long, then we'll look at something else. But that's probably the option we're gonna try to do. It has to go through our Troop digital cookie link. So I would have to give everybody the Troop link sign in. So it's gonna get interesting. So again, we'll share the info closer when we've worked out all the details. Okay, would you be able to provide last year's sales for our girls if requested? If you mean what your Girl Scouts sold last year, yes, I can give you that info.
Okay, thank you.
Lemonade stand in my front yard. So for those of you who are not aware, I do live on a fairly busy street. It's not super busy, but it gets pretty busy. So we are planning to do a Troop lemonade stand in my front yard for the first 13 days. So basically before booths start, although I think 1 or 2 of the days we're overlapping with booths. And then the last 4 days as a, hey, last chance, get your cookies now thing in my front yard. So Girl Scouts can sell alone. They can sign up as one girl with their supervising adult, or 2 girls can sign up at a time. If the girls are sisters, they only need their one parent to be there. However, if the girls live in separate households, they each need their own adult because that's a COVID policy. You're not allowed to supervise a girl that doesn't live in your house. Although for girls in high school, they allow it. I'm not sure the difference. But anyways, they said that each girl has to have her own adult if they live in separate households for a lemonade stand. So it can be one if one wants to do it alone, or if they don't want to do it alone, we can sign up for 2. I would recommend like one, they switch off, like one girl stay in the yard and sell, and one go down to the corner of Harvey and Palo Verde, which is just one short little block away. And with the sign Girl Scout cookies this way to try to attract more customers, that would be my advice. But you know, you do you. Girls and adults should bring their own chairs if they want to sit. Girls are allowed to sit at lemonade stands. They should still be in full uniform. I will provide the table, the cookies, change, you know, tablecloth, all that good stuff. I'm probably gonna set the Girl Scout Easy up in my front
Cookie
yard.
sale.
Just leave it up for the cookie season.
Cookie sales.
So it'll be up for our booth sales. And then also if we're doing cookie pickup, you know, I have that out there too to help protect the cookies if it's sunny or rainy or whatever. The plan is to average this in with all of our booth sales, and just girls will get credit for each hour just as if it was an hour of booth sales. But if the sales numbers are really, really low and it's going to drastically impact our booth numbers, then I might end up pulling it out and doing it separately. I really don't want to have to do that, but I also don't want our booth sale numbers to be, you know, crazily decimated. So we'll have to see what it ends up looking like and what happens. Masks are again required. Shields are recommended. Goggles honestly are better because they don't impede people being able to hear you since it doesn't cover your mouth. But you know, I guess goggles don't cover your mouth to provide that extra protection either. But I wear the 2 masks, so I think I'm good. Social distancing will be enforced, and again, it'll be just like a regular booth sale. Oh, and the hours we're planning are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. I've noticed those are kind of the hours when people are walking the neighborhood on the weekends. Morning more so, actually. It kind of dies off in the afternoon, and then, you know, it gets kind of dark early, so people aren't really walking out so much around so much after 4. And then Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, because that's, you know, the kids walking home from the high school and then people coming home from work time. Like I said, I'm usually off by 3. So, you know, if I'm not off till 3, I won't be home until 3:30. So we might have to push that back, or I could just have everything ready and my mom could pass it off to you. If, you know, I'll talk to her, she'll probably be willing. So we'll work out those details. but that's the plan for now. Boothing tips. Girls should know, how to talk to the customers, know their cookie pitch, know the prices, know the flavors. Gift of caring. Sorry, that should say cookies for community. Dang, I need to edit this again. This is like the 4th version I've posted on our website. They should, have proper behavior, know how to act. Singing and dancing and being cutesy, totally okay. Bumping into customers, getting in their way, being rude, being obnoxious, not okay, right? Adults should know the guidelines. They should ensure that the girls are doing the selling. They should watch the girls, make sure they're staying safe, stay off of their phones, pay attention to the girls, make sure that you know where you're going, that you're on time, that the stuff is going to be there when you get there, right? So reach out to me and be like, hey, Heather, are you planning on dropping the stuff off? What's the plan? You should plan on taking credit cards. I will give you whatever you need to do that, whatever system we end up using. And you may need to track credit card sales depending on what system we end up using. Keep track of the product, make sure people aren't wandering off with it, all that good stuff. Keep everything safe. If your Girl Scout has committed to a booth, please, she does need to arrive on time in her full uniform. She needs to be prepared to stay and work her entire shift. Teach them to upsell. If somebody asks for 2 boxes and pays for the 20, hey, how about 4 boxes for your $20? Teach that upsell and then encourage them. Would you like to donate your change to the Cookies for the Community? It just doesn't have the same ring to it. It really doesn't. Okay, financial stuff. Keep the money safe. We have had an instance where a girl, teenage brother, had his friend staying in their house and he stole her cookie money. Does not matter. You still owe it to the troop. So in that case, it's coming out of your pocket. So keep the money safe. Keep the money safe. It's your responsibility, right? Turn it in often. Our troop does accept checks. You can either have the check written out to you, deposit in your account and Venmo to the troop or Zelle, or you can turn the check into the troop, in which case it would need to be written to the troop, Girl Scouts Greater LA troop, and then whatever the troop number is. It's a good idea if you know which troop your daughter is in, but honestly, it doesn't really matter because I could just deposit it and then, transfer the money or, trade some cash. It is write your Girl Scouts name in the memo field. So if the check does bounce, then we know who to go back to. We have actually, the only checks we've ever had bounce are one of my coworkers when none of the parents have actually turned in checks that have bounced in, gosh, probably like 15, 16, 17 years. So we're usually pretty good on that. Again, we can accept Venmo or Zelle for parents paying the troop, but customers cannot use those to pay for the cookies that they are purchasing. Cash, check, digital cookie only. Encourage girls to count and help keep track of their money, but ultimately it's the parents' responsibility to turn in all money and to keep that money safe. Always, always, always get a receipt when you pick up cookies or turn in money. Double count, double check everything. Mistakes are made. Mistakes are made more frequently than they should be, right? I'm human, I make mistakes. You're human, you make mistakes. We are potentially going to have 70 Girl Scouts selling cookies. It's a lot of numbers to deal with. So keep track of your money, keep a record. So if there's a mistake, that's how it's going to be found by everybody, you and me, keeping as accurate of records as we can. Debt to the troop. So if you have been in our troop for 2 years or less than 2 years, I'm not sure what my wording is. Anyways, $500 is what you can have in outstanding cookies. Now, remember, if they're ordering on digital cookie, those cookies are paid for, right? So you might have $2,000 worth of cookies, but 1,600 of it is already paid. I'm not saying you can only take $500 worth of cookies. I'm saying you can only take $500 worth of cookies that have not yet been paid for. So all those digital cookies sales, they don't count. You can take those and then an additional $500 worth. If you've been in the troop for at least 2 cookie programs, or I should say participated in at least 2 cookie programs, then you can have up to 200 packages, which is about $1,000 in unpaid cookies. Honestly, we didn't have anyone even close to that last year because most of the money came from digital cookie. Again, first money due date, February 13th. That is a Sunday. We do not have a meeting that day. It is Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not a football fan, so I will be available if you do want to come turn in money that day. But keep in mind, it is Super Bowl Sunday. And then the final money due date is Monday, March 14th. Anyone turned in money late, you will be turned into council. It's not really an issue, and it is possible that your Girl Scout will not receive her rewards. Counterfeit bills, they're a thing. We haven't had too much trouble with it, but please check your bills, because I will check your bills. And if you give me a fake bill, I'm going to give it back to you, and it's going to be your responsibility. So check your bills if you don't want to take the chance of having to cover the cost of that. Money pens mean nothing. They tell you the paper is real. They do not tell you that the bill is the correct denomination, because the most common way to counterfeit is to wash one and reprint it as a higher denomination, and a money pen won't find that. So we don't teach the girls to use money pens. We teach them to identify the watermarks. And, you know, the easiest way, honestly, is the security strip. Since they're in a different location on each bill, you know, it's easy to see, wait a minute, this is a 5, it should be there, but it's there. Like, this is fake. Although why someone would fake a 5, I have no idea. But, you know, we'd like you not to take bills larger than 20, especially at booth sales. Every booth sale, I end up with a 50 or 100 or several, and it makes me very nervous, because if those are fake, like, we're out a lot of money. So we really do recommend not taking those larger bills, but we also don't want to lose sales. So we do what we got to do. Okay, peace of mind policy. So we want you to feel comfortable taking cookies and not worry about getting stuck with them. So you can return cookies. However, we are putting a limit on it this year, because not last year, but the year before, it got kind of crazy with what people were returning, especially like multiple cases of the same variety. And honestly, if you've had these cookies for like 4 weeks and you've noticed that they're not moving, like, you should have returned them sooner rather than later. So don't hold on to this stuff if it's not moving. If it's not moving at the beginning of the sale, I guarantee you it is not going to move at the end of the sale. So return stuff sooner rather than later. But the absolute deadline to return or exchange any cases is Sunday, March 6th. And the limit on that is up to 2 cases. And they cannot be 2 cases of the same variety. And it cannot be 1 case of Toffee-tastic. So unless you really, really, really know people who like Toffee-tastic, do not pick up an entire case of Toffee-tastic, because you will probably not sell an entire case of Toffee-tastic. And everybody always wants to return all of these Toffee-tastics at the end of the sale. We cannot return cookies. We are stuck with them. The girls will have to sell them or pay for them. So please be considerate. You know, the cookie sale is what, six weeks? I think it's 6 weeks from the time that we get cookies until, you know, the cookie sale is over. So after 3 weeks, if you've still got, you know, more than half of what you picked up, or even half of what you picked up, that's the time to start returning stuff. Because remember, you can always pick up more. You can always come back and get more. But if we get stuck with stuff, like, we're stuck with it. We can't return it. The girls just really have to work to sell it. If cookies are damaged, they can be returned, or not returned, but exchanged at any time. Cookie for cookie. Melted is not damaged. Do not leave the cookies in your car. Damage would be like the cookies came out of the case and they were already smashed. It happens during the manufacturing process. Or like, sometimes the packaging will be like sticking out of the box and you can tell that it's open. Sometimes the box is empty and there is literally nothing in there. Damaged product, even exchange anytime throughout the sale. We're expecting the awards to arrive in July, August, or September. This year they arrived in September. When they do arrive, please, please, please pick them up as soon as possible. I repeat, I do not have anywhere to store this stuff. The water bottles that arrived late that have not been given out to girls yet, because we haven't seen them, are in my trunk, because I literally have nowhere else to put them. Our storage shed that my parents have so graciously let our troop use. And don't you think that my dad does not remind me what that would cost if I had to go rent it somewhere on a regular basis, is now flooded. And I have to deal with that. We just don't have the storage room. So please, please pick up your Girl Scout stuff as soon as you can. We will give them out at a troop meeting, but you know, if your Girl Scout misses the meeting, then figure out how you're going to pick that stuff up. There is merchandise available if you want to purchase it at the shop. Our troop does own a lot of this kind of stuff, so you're welcome to borrow it if you want to. If you're making a video or doing a lemonade stand or anything like that. We've got tons of tablecloths because we had 2, and then another troop gave me some, and then another troop gave me, so we have like 6 or 7 tablecloths. Okay, climb with courage. That is the end. I'm going to stop the recording, and then if anybody else has any questions, ooh, wrong button, don't want to do that. And that was the wrong button too. There we go, end recording. I finally found the right button.